Hello, my latest Arc Raiders video was about my skill tree, and at that time I was level 38, but now you can see I am level 75, which is a lot of XP, a lot of playtime. Yes, I am a full-time content creator, so of course you are not meant as a regular player who has a job or school or whatever, you are not meant to be already level 75. Some people are level 10, 20, 30, and it's perfectly fine. You should not be striving to get level 75 as fast as I did, because it's actually not possible for the average player. So don't feel bad about that, and let's talk about my skill tree. So I have posted my skill tree on Twitter. Every time I do that, it gets hundreds of thousands of views for some reason. I'm not sure why people are so interested, and it gets many bookmarks, so people want to come back and see it again later, which I think is a bit weird. I do not think you should be copying anyone's skill tree. I said that in the previous video, and people were like, yeah, but some stuff is objectively better. And yes, that's true, but I still think you should go for what you personally want, what you're interested in. A thing to consider, and which is what I'm gonna be talking about the most, is some stuff is genuinely deceptive or unclear or genuinely bad and not worth spending points in. Another thing I realized is some people pointed out nodes like these ones and telling me you wasted points here. You probably regret spending 1 point here. But thing is, you must realize, for example, if you put 1 point here, you unlock a new passive, which is when looting a radar container, you have a small chance of finding additional field-crafted items. Unless you spend 1 single point here or more, you will not have this ability. Same here. After an ability drains your stamina, you will recover more quickly. So when you dodge roll, you recover your stamina more quickly. Unless I spend a single point here, I will not have this passive, you know? Of course, a single point means the passive is probably very weak, but it's better than nothing in my opinion. And I'm not missing out on anything I truly wanted. Now, let's talk about my mistakes. The biggest one that I totally overlooked in my latest video, and someone in the comments told me about it, so I put points in here. Wearing a shield doesn't slow you as much. And I said, what do you always do in this game? Wear a shield, right? So this is always useful. I was wrong. If you go and check out level 3 shield, for example, it says 15% reduced movement speed. But if you check the level 1 shield, it doesn't have that. So this only helps with level 2 and level 3. So if you, like me, only ever play light shield and I only ever play light shield, this skill is literally useless because you will not benefit from it. So I basically wasted 3 points here for something I do not need whatsoever. This ability, Fight or Flight, when you are hurt in combat, regain a fixed amount of stamina, has a cooldown between uses. When I unlocked it, I realized how good the effect is. So when I get shot at, I instantly regain stamina. So if I'm caught out in the open, or if I already spent a little bit of stamina, it's back. So it's very useful to run away further than your opponent can if you haven't shot back at them. Problem is, because Embark doesn't tell us about any stats and is not very precise or accurate, it says when you're hurt in combat, regain a fixed amount of stamina, has a cooldown. So when you upgrade this node, what does it do? Does it make you regain more stamina? Or does it reduce the cooldown between users? And what's the cooldown between users, right? We don't know. So I spent 2 points and then I was like, wait, I don't even know what my points are going towards. So this is potentially extremely bad, because I would prefer having more stamina regen when I get shot, but I don't know if it's actually changing the cooldown between users. And if the cooldown goes from 2 minutes to 1 minute 30, I legit don't care. And I don't know what the current cooldown is. So just like for these nodes I told you about at the start of the video, I'm more than happy to have a single point spent here, but I would have spent a second point here instead, and one of these points here instead, and I would be 5 out of 5, you make less noise when breaching. Kinda good, right? Much better than something you don't know what it does, and for me, I don't need this because I don't play level 2 and 3 shields. So that's one of my regrets. Now, you might wonder, why the hell did I go for these? Same logic. A single point gives you a new passive. Passives are extremely strong because you always have them, and they might be helpful and even crucial to surviving in many situations. So 1 point, new passive. 1 point, new passive. Maybe you don't think they are worth it. Maybe you don't think they are great. Maybe if you don't want them at all and you don't want anything behind this, you don't have to spend 15 points here in the first place to unlock them. So you can remove 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points from this tree and just go for breaching doors and containers take less time. So I could have done that, but I find that having more passives is very valuable. So if I just fixed this tree, I would simply remove 2 points from it in Fight or Flight and in Use to the Weight. Actually, I would remove all the points in Use to the Weight except the first one you are required to use. Other stuff I regret is this. Stamina regeneration while crouched is increased. I could not give you a single example in all my playtime of me realizing that's useful, like doing it on purpose. I don't care. Problem is, in order to unlock the other trees, I had to spend points in here, and then I didn't want to spend points in these, so I had to spend points in Revitalizing Squat to unlock Security Breach. I don't really know if it's better to go movement speed while crouching is increased. I was told increased move speed while crouching is barely noticeable, potentially bugged, potentially useless. I haven't had a chance to test myself, I haven't seen a test on it. Maybe it works, but now looking back, I think having 5 out of 5 in this would be more worth it than in this one. So I would instead go for crouch speed increased. If you want to be if you want to be silent and fast, must be good. Now depends on once again what Embark ends up doing. Will they ever tell us like what our base move speed is and what it becomes after level 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5? We don't know, so it's hard to tell. Looter's Instinct, when searching a container, loot is revealed faster. 5 out of 5 always, I will always keep this. And then Looter's Luck, while looting there is a chance to reveal twice as many items at once. Basically, when you are looting, you always reveal 1 item, little time. 1 item, little time. 1 item, little time. With this perk, it can be 1 item, little time. 2 items, little time. 2 items, little time. And then, when you have a big container such as a Dead Raider, you can loot them twice as fast as someone who doesn't have fast looting and or Looter's Luck. Of course, the reason I spent so many points in this branch was Security Breach. From the get-go, I didn't know how good Security Breach would be, so I focused on like the first nodes of every branch, and then when it turned out Security Breach was indeed worth it, and I think it's even a bit OP and kinda weird that they made it like that. Anyways, I went for it. So very good perk, of course. I'm expecting it to be reworked or nerfed at some point. I think it's way too good. My issue is you can go free loadout or naked loadout, run to security containers, and suddenly you are loaded and you can like have a good raid or just extract with good guns for barely any effort. And no risk whatsoever, because if you die, you lose nothing you brought in the raid. I don't think free loadout should be able to use Security Breach, in my opinion. And then you could just go naked loadout, and we don't have anything that prevents you from doing that, unlike in Tarkov, for example. So I really don't know how Embark is gonna tackle this. Maybe they don't care. Maybe they are perfectly fine with how it is. Maybe you are perfectly fine with how it is. What do I regret? Oh yes, of course, Calming Stroll. I always knew, guys. I've known since Tech Test 2 that there is a button to walk. By default, you are jogging, you can sprint, and you can walk. I knew you had to walk for this Calming Stroll perk. I was not deceived by it. Thing is, I made some tests, and if you want to travel, and again, I'm talking specifically about traveling across the map. If you want to travel faster, it is faster to never walk and keep jogging while exhausted and then run to exhaust yourself and then jog while exhausted, etc. If you walk when exhausted, you will be slower for traveling specifically. Now, Calming Stroll, useful when you get your stamina back faster while carrying a field crate. When you ADS, you are walking, so it should trigger the perk. I haven't tested, not gonna lie. I should really make a video on everything we need to test about Calming Stroll. So if you have ideas of stuff you want to test, oh yeah, when you are activating a surge shield recharge, I think you are forced to walk, right? So might be worth it for people who play level 2 and 3 shields. I don't know. I can do tests. You tell me in the comments if you're interested. Now, for my personal use, I never need it. I tried to use it, then I did testing, I realized it's literally useless for my purposes, and sure, I benefit from it without knowing sometimes, like when I use a bandage, yes, for 1 second I will regenerate my stamina faster, but it's so not worth it when you have this good as new. While under a healing effect, stamina regeneration is increased, so as long as you're healing, your stamina regenerates faster. No need to slow down. It's so good. It's so good. This branch is too good. Anyways, I don't regret not going for these, except lets you jump at the end of a vault. I've seen videos now of people using that, and yeah, in some places you can go crazy fast where people need to like zigzag around staircases and stuff. You can just dash through them. It's insanely cool. but it requires so many points invested in stuff I don't find valuable. I really am not into the mobility tree. My issue as feedback for Embark is the survival tree has too much good stuff. Look, here we have melee abilities cost less stamina. Who uses melee anyways, right? You rarely use melee. You deal more melee damage to drones. Who cares? Here, Wasp turret can now be destroyed with a single melee attack, which means you deal more damage to drones, but drones, you will realistically only hit hornets and wasps. And if you spend one more point here, suddenly you can one-shot wasps. So half of the effect of this is now overwritten by this. So this is only useful to deal more damage to hornets, realistically. Yes, you can stun a rocketeer to make it come down. Are you gonna have time to kill the rocketeer? Surely you can stun it while it's on the ground so it doesn't get up again, and you can finish it with melee. Is it worth spending like 30 points in this tree though? Like, surely not, right? And not only is it not a passive where you spend a single point, it's a passive where you spend 5 points to make it better and better. Like, I do not see anyone using this. Loaded arms, your equipped weapon has less impact on your increments. I was going for it at first, until I realized I have broad shoulders, increases the maximum weight you can carry. So my maximum weight I can carry is 40 by default. I think for you, if you don't have this perk, it's 30. Now look, since I've quote-unquote finished the game, and even before that, actually, I told myself I will never go into a raid without a looting 2 augment anymore. Look at this backpack space. There is no reason to go with a looting 1. Look how cheap it is to make. 3 magnets, 2 electrical components. How do you farm electrical components? Every time you kill a wasp, hornet, or snitch, you recycle the core. Good job, you got 2 or 3 electrical components. Giga free. Magnets, you find them everywhere, and you can recycle stuff down into magnets. You can also buy them from Celeste. Yep. Magnets here. 10 daily. So it's so easy to craft. You can also, if you, like me, finish the game and you have too much money, it's pointless, you can buy 1 daily. So that's great. And now, if I have one, my maximum weight is 70. 70, that much space, 2 safe pockets, 3 slots for trinkets. It's amazing. My loadout is always level 1 shields and looting MK2. Even if I bring a purple gun, I've done like 10 runs in a row with this shotgun and this loadout here, right? So broad shoulders increases the maximum weight you can carry. Amazing, and I think it makes this useless. Your equipped weapon has less impact on your encumbrance. Again, Embark doesn't tell us if it's a 25% reduction, 50%, or 10% reduction, or 90% reduction. We know nothing. And look, even if I bring 2 huge guns, so this one is 10 kilograms because attachments make your gun heavier, and let's bring a Torrent, that's 13 kilograms. I can still bring 30 kilograms with, and I already have stuff on me actually. I have my shield, I have all of this. So if I remove everything, look at how much space I can bring. 42.2 kilograms, 41.2 kilograms from a raid, even if I bring 2 huge, extremely heavy guns. So I'm aware it's only 1 point for loaded arms, but to reach loaded arms, you also need to spend 1 point in a little extra. Breaching an object generates resources. I was going for it at first, and then I saw a Reddit post saying, every time you breach something, you get 3 metal. Wow, 3 metal. Great. See, I wish I was told so I didn't have to wait for someone to waste a point in it. And that person is probably gonna reroll their character. And imagine you spend point in stuff you think is not valuable. It took you 70 hours to reach that. And you're a casual gamer. You do not want to wipe your whole progress every season. So now you're stuck forever with your, like, wrongly allocated points. I don't think it's very fair. If I regret something, I would say I would have loved to have spare points. So I told you where I could remove some to spend in one of these nodes. Crawl before you walk. When you're down, you crawl faster. Or when you're down, it takes longer before you collapse. Or while down, you take less damage. Any 3 of these must be kind of cool to have. Now, I really wonder if anyone went for 5 points in each. When you're critically hurt, your health regenerates until a certain limit. I really like the concept of this, but how fast does it regenerate? And up to how many HP does it regenerate? We don't know. Embark doesn't tell us. So, way too risky. And again, if you want to go security breach, you are spending more than half your total points in one single branch, meaning you don't have enough points to spend in other trees to reach a final node. So I like it. I like the fact you cannot have final nodes everywhere, but one thing I don't know is when you are gonna reset your character with projects, you are gonna lose stuff, but look, this will be kept. Bonus skill points earned from expeditions. Does it mean you can have +5 points every wipe? Meaning eventually, after, I don't know, like 25 seasons, you can have every single thing unlocked in the tree, as long as you keep wiping every raid? I don't know that. Again, quite unclear. I hope Embark is gonna tell us about it before we have to make the huge decision of wiping our entire progress, you know. If I had a few more points, I would spend 5 out of 5 in Sturdy Ankles. I do not regret spending 3 points in it, and I wish I spent more. You take less fall damage when falling from a non-lethal height. So I don't know what the lethal height is. Let's say it's 50 meters. If you fall from 50 meters, any player dies. Now, if you fall from 49 meters, if you have 0 points here, you would take, I'm making it up, 99 damage. But if you have this perk, it's not a lethal fall, so you take only 70 damage. Again, no stats, Embark not telling us, we cannot be sure. But I have found that the fall damage in this game is quite lenient. Like, you can fall from very, very high. Some heights you would expect to die from, because the game is very grounded, quite realistic. Movement is very satisfying and good, but, you know, limited. We are not in Apex Legends, we cannot wall jump and stuff. So you would expect to die from some falls, and you realize, wait, I could have fallen from twice as high without dying. Especially with my 3 points in here. And I'm like, how many times would have I been saved if I could have just jumped off a building without dying? And the other person either doesn't know where I am, or if they jump behind me and after me, they will be stunned, falling on the ground, while I'm already back up and shooting at them. So I think it's one of the best perks for real. Like, Sturdy Ankles, I really love it. I really advise you put some points in it. Very useful when you're getting chased by players or arc. You can just jump off places you cannot be followed to. It's great. And then you will heal yourself, and Good As New will allow you to run, regenerate your stamina faster, so run more, etc. Good combos, like, Good As New is amazing. I think it's one of these perks, you take it, you don't really realize how much it's doing for you, but it's doing a lot for you very often, especially when fighting arc or players. Alright, so that's basically it. I don't regret any other choice I've made. I told you about everything I like, everything I don't. I will soon make a video on how I'm still having fun after completing the game, because of course I have, like, my project is 99% done. Like, I just have to spend more survival items in here, but basically I'm done with it. My character is max level. I have a lot of stuff in my stash, and I make stuff back every day. I lose it, I make it back. I can craft everything I want. I can, like, it's kind of easy right now. You know, I'm in easy mode, so I have to find ways to have fun. And I have found a great way to have fun that I want to share with you, and maybe some people will love it, do it too, and we can discuss it and have fun together. So very excited to make that kind of content. Also, I'm going to make content that's more some of the stuff you already know me for, if you knew me before Arc Raiders. So testing stuff, myth busting, stuff like that. And on that note, shout out to my YouTube members, and special shout out to my tier 3 and tier 2 members, TJ, Exotic Spoon, and Jolly Goodman. And on that note, I will see you in the Rust Belt, Raider.